Most people want to be normal, calm, controlled, productive, like perfectly functioning machines. But here's the catch. The more you try to be normal, the faster you break. Everyone tells you to stay sane. But what if the only way to stay sane is to embrace the habits everyone calls insane? Modern life worships control. Schedules, routines, productivity hacks, everything designed to keep you efficient. But has it made people happier, or just more anxious? The irony is simple. The more you force yourself to stay sane, the more pressure you build. And here's the truth no productivity guru will admit. Those who actually survive aren't the ones who stay perfectly balanced. They're the ones who sneak in small doses of madness. Dancing alone at 2 a.m., writing angry notes you never send, screaming into a pillow. Society says it's ridiculous, but psychology calls it catharsis. Tiny earthquakes that prevent your mind from collapsing entirely. Let's start with overthinking. People say, stop overthinking, just live in the moment. But a little overthinking is nothing less than free mental training. You run scenarios. You anticipate risks. You prepare for outcomes before they happen. That's not weakness, it's rehearsal. The difference between reckless optimism and calculated survival. Now, let's add another so-called insane habit: talking to yourself. People hide it because they're scared of being called crazy. Yet athletes do it to sharpen focus. Kids do it naturally while learning. And adults? They silence themselves and lose one of the most powerful tools for regulating emotions. Overthinking and self-talk are small rebellions against the idea of normal. They look useless, but they're the very gears that keep your sanity turning. Then comes procrastination, the eternal villain of productivity culture. But not all procrastination is equal. There's passive procrastination, where you avoid and collapse. And then there's active procrastination, where delay becomes incubation. Ideas cook in the background like a slow oven, emerging sharper, more creative, and more valuable. And what about daydreaming? Society calls it laziness, but neuroscience calls it the default mode network. When your mind drifts, it's not shutting down. It's creating connections, solving problems, and imagining futures you couldn't invent in rigid focus. Procrastination and daydreaming are dismissed as wasting time. In reality, they are the hidden workshops of creativity. Now let's touch the habits most people love to judge: complaining and dark humor. People say complaining makes you toxic, but venting is a pressure valve, an emotional release that prevents explosions. Bottled silence doesn't make you stronger. It just makes you a ticking time bomb. And humor, especially dark humor, it's how people take tragedy and turn it into something bearable. When you can laugh at the absurdity of pain, it loses some of its power over you. That laugh, strange, inappropriate, maybe even offensive, is survival in disguise. Complaining and dark humor may look like weakness, but in reality, they're the armor that keeps people from shattering. The more you try to erase your so-called bad habits and force yourself into normal, the more insane you become. But when you allow yourself tiny doses of madness, an overthought scenario, a late-night rant, a dark laugh, you reset. Like a storm that clears the air, chaos restores balance. Order is not the absence of chaos. Order is what grows when you let chaos flow in small, controlled bursts. So if you've ever felt strange, weird, or even ashamed of your coping habits, congratulations. That strangeness is your survival instinct. So Talesverser, don't be so quick to erase your useless, embarrassing, or insane habits. They might be the quiet scaffolding keeping your mind from collapsing. Maybe the real question isn't, am I crazy? The real question is, am I crazy enough to stay sane? Because in a world obsessed with fake smiles, fake balance, and fake stability, the people who survive aren't the ones who obey the rules of sanity. They're the ones who embrace madness, use it, and walk out stronger. And that's a wrap, my dear friends. Thanks for hanging out with me. Until next time, stay awesome.